Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Price Targets with your host, Bitcoin Jack. It's been a crazy week, lots of ups and downs. Bitcoin really didn't go anywhere, but TradFi markets did a pretty, up and down. Lots of weird things happened there. We're going to be talking and reviewing a few of our setups from last week, and next week I want to talk about the macro because I've been postponing a decent video trying to have a coherent story on why my macro view is so bearish, and I want to dive into that. I'm just trying to get together my thoughts in a coherent manner to make it concise and convey the message there. So, to get it out of the way, first things first, lovely sponsor Prime XBT. They've been sponsoring these series for a long time, and if you appreciate these videos, consider signing up with the ref link in the description below. And if you use the promo code BitcoinJack, that you will match up to 0.5 BTC on deposit, on your first deposit. There's some conditions that apply, so make sure you check it out. But yeah, thank you, Prime, and check them out. That would be lovely. Bitcoin really didn't move as much. Clearly, I thought that we would have broken down already, and I think we talked about the level here, the retest here, and obviously it went much higher. Depends on what you define as much, but a lot higher than I expected it to go. I'm still bearish, but this could definitely find support and rally. I'm not seeing a setup here that I want to play, so I'm just gonna leave this for the weekend and see whether things are gonna get a little bit clearer. ETH, I'm still of the same conviction that this is not gonna pop up. I think it's bearish, so watch the latest videos. I think I've been referring to a couple of videos back for quite some time now, but this is the monthly level. It's been kind of bouncing on it, and I think this level is just exhausted and is going to break down. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about the S&P 500, but it's pretty crazy. We're going to be talking about why I'm bearish on pretty much every market in a broad overview next week. I'm still trying to get those thoughts coherently together. Here's Axie. Axie is just puking. It's lost level here. Could start to bounce a little bit, but I do think this is just the start of the great demise on Axie, and possibly just represents the entire state, bearish, like weak state of the market in general. Not really sure, but this looks to me like it's time to go down a lot, and it already lost. Let's see, 50% since I started talking about it on Twitter when price was back up here. So pretty crazy exit there. And then can go back to Luna. Luna, I still think, like if we zoom out on Luna, doesn't this look like a giant kind of volatility squeeze? We kind of draw this up from here, something like that. Then something like this. Obviously, you could draw it like this, or you could draw it like that, but the general gist here is, less and less volatility. And I think if we look at the volume, it's, a lot of volume here, and it's just dying. So it kind of feels that this is slowly could be becoming the macro top. Maybe it has one more leg, but I want to be watching on this and short it whenever the time really comes. Could it be now? Absolutely. Let's do a little dive. I'm still so fucked over, by the way, from King's Day. It's unreal. Like, honestly, I got home at like 8 p.m. super early, but just been a mad day. I think this rejection here, if it starts to climb above here, then I do think there is argument to get to our levels here and here, and see that next leg up. I think it's going to be somewhere in the extension of this diagonal like that. So I'm not really entirely sure how this is going to end, but I think any signs of weakness is going to be where I'm going to try and find a short opportunity on Luna. So that is my thoughts there. Syscoin, it still hasn't managed to break out, and it got rejected here again. Still holding on to my position of this support here, but if we're gonna like retest this once or twice more, I have to reconsider my position, because as you know, I'm not really a fan of like full touches is generally not something I like to hold. Gold finally reached our first major level here at 1872. It's probably going to be a little bit of bouncing here. We kind of took out stops here, and then same we did up there. So I expect this to at least rally back into the middle center, so the 0.5, which is up here. I'm going to draw that line for future reference. Get rid of the extended, yeah, something like that. I think it's at least going to retest that, but if we look at, structure, it could be a little bit higher than a 0.5, because this is kind of where we lost this level here. So retesting the block, this block could happen, right? But generally, I think that the dollar story, which I'm going to be talking about more next week, is a negative story for most assets. It's going to be very hard. I mean, Bitcoin could obviously do very well because there's a, it's a different kind of asset. But even there, I do think that the general global market structure is going to be tough for Bitcoin to beat and outperform. So that's kind of the story on gold. Probably going to have a little rally. Maybe it's just going to like retest here and get rejected by it, which it already has done. But general consensus for me and people I've talked to is that we're going to eventually get back down to 1600 something down here. So the lows of 21. And then what else do we have? I think that subjects like the yield and the FX markets tying into credit markets is something I'm going to put into video next week. So next week is probably going to be a video where we are not going to be talking about Bitcoin price action that much, but more going to be looking at the global macro structure of liquidity and where things are expected to start breaking. Kind of weird how, well, it's not weird, but if we look at the rubles, right, it's the ruble has been strong, and that's something that we're going to be talking about as well next week. What else? I think that's kind of it here. I don't expect Bitcoin to be strong, so I'm just waiting for things to break to the downside. And I don't know. I think I just want to let the market simmer over the weekend, then have a coherent story next week. So hopefully that made some sense. Hopefully I didn't blabber too long about, well, pretty much not saying much, but I'm gonna catch you Monday, and I hope you guys are gonna have a great weekend. I'm gonna sign out and chill a little bit. Hopefully we're gonna have some action next week. Cheers.